Okay, so you know we love diving into stuff you send our way, right? And this time, we've got something really cool.
Yeah.
It's a YouTube transcript, actually,
Hmm.
but it's an indie, and the title's a bit of a mouthful, I'll admit.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so it's Arita Alakanada Ha Ram Navmi Special BK Shilu Didi GWS tag Ram Navmi hashtag BK Shilu hashtag Ram hashtag BK.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, from the Om Shanti channel GWS.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're talking Ram Navmi.
Of course, a big celebration.
Huge, yeah, and most people are familiar with the basics, but
Right.
this transcript kind of goes beyond that. It's got a really unique perspective.
The different angle.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do in this deep dive today, really pull out the core insights from this transcript.
Yeah, give everyone like a shortcut to understanding the deeper meaning of Ram Navmi.
Yeah, beyond just the rituals and the celebrations.
Right, because there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely. So we're going to look at both sides of the coin here. The traditional understanding of Ram Navmi and then this more spiritual, like a universal kind of perspective that the transcript talks about.
Bigger picture.
Yeah, and it brings up some pretty fascinating questions,
Sorry.
like, is Ram just a figure from history or is there more to it?
Right.
And what about this whole Ram Raja concept, like an ideal society? What does that even mean?
Yeah, and Ravana, always the villain in the stories. What's the deeper meaning behind that?
So much to uncover.
Absolutely.
But let's start with the basics, the way most people celebrate Ram Navmi.
Sounds good.
So the transcript, confirms what we already know. Ram Navmi is celebrated with so much love all over India.
Yeah, by devotees of Sri Ram, of course.
Definitely. But it goes beyond that,
Mhm.
like even people who aren't specifically devotees of Ram, they still participate in the festivities.
It's a cultural thing, too.
It really is. And the main reason, of course, is it's Sri Ram's birthday.
Right.
Specifically, the 9th day Navmi of the Chaitra month in the Hindu calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And the celebrations, especially in Ayodhya, are just massive.
Oh, yeah. The transcript talks about the excitement, the energy.
It's palpable.
And it also mentions the construction of a grand Ram temple there.
Right, which is a huge deal for so many people.
Absolutely.
And, when we think of Ram, we often picture him with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, that classic image.
Right, and it symbolizes his role as an avatar of Vishnu.
The preserver of balance.
Exactly. He came to Earth to defeat these negative forces.
Like Ravana.
Right, Ravana's like the big one,
Sure.
the ultimate symbol of evil.
And the transcript touches upon that popular understanding of Vishnu taking the form of Ram to defeat Ravana.
Yeah, but here's where things get interesting.
Wow.
The transcript goes on to say that the word Ram itself has a deeper meaning.
What's that?
It means the one who resides in everyone's heart.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just about a person from the past.
Right.
It's about a presence that's beyond form, universal.
That's interesting.
And they even give the example of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
His last words were, "Hey, Ram."
Right.
And the transcript suggests that it wasn't just a historical reference.
More like calling out to something deeper.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
And then they break down Ram into 4 different interpretations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this is where they really start going into that Bihad Roop mind perspective.
Okay, so what are these 4 types of Ram?
So the first one is the one we all know, Sri Ram, son of King Dasharatha from the Treta Yuga.
The avatar of Vishnu.
Right.
Okay, and the second one?
The second Ram is the one who lives inside each of us.
The soul.
Yeah, the Atma, and it's seen as something to be worshipped, symbolized by the Shalagram stone.
So the divine isn't just something out there, it's within us too.
Exactly.
That's a powerful thought.
And then there's the third Ram,
Okay.
the one who created the entire universe.
So Brahma.
Right.
Or creator.
Exactly, and the transcript emphasizes that this creation happened through Sankalp.
Thought or will.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right?
It is.
And finally, the fourth Ram,
Okay.
the one who's beyond the world, completely formless.
The Supreme Father of all souls.
Yeah, a being of light, a Hyoti Swarup with no physical body.
Wow. So when we say Ram, we're talking about a much bigger concept than just one historical figure.
Absolutely. And the transcript clarifies that while Ram Navmi celebrates the birth of Sri Ram, the one we're most familiar with,
Right.
this awareness of these other deeper aspects of Ram is always there.
It's like a hidden layer of meaning.
Exactly.
And this ties into the concept of Ram Raja, doesn't it?
It does. Ram Raja, this idea of an ideal society.
Often described in these glowing terms.
Yeah, the transcript even quotes a line about it. It goes, It goes, it's such a vivid picture.
It does a time when the king was righteous.
And the people were virtuous.
The wealthy were generous.
Everything in harmony.
Yeah, everyone living according to Dharma, righteousness.
Like goodness was just flowing everywhere. And it's easy to see why Mahatma Gandhi, he really wanted to establish a Ram Raja.
Oh, who wouldn't want that?
But then the transcript goes on to compare this ideal past with the present time.
Which it calls Ravan Raja.
Yeah, and the big difference is unity versus diversity.
But in this context, diversity is seen as a source of conflict.
Right. Ram Raja is all about oneness.
One kingdom, one way of thinking.
And everything unified.
In Ravan Raja,
it's characterized by differences.
Religions, beliefs, groups, languages, all these different things.
And the transcript suggests that all this difference leads to conflict and struggle.
So the longing for peace and harmony that we feel today.
It's actually a desire to return to that state of Ram Raja.
Interesting way to look at it.
So then the conversation shifts to the spiritual significance of Ram and Sita.
Going beyond the historical story.
Right. And they highlight this interesting thing. We say, hey, Ram, when we're feeling sorrow, duck.
Yeah.
And they connect that to the formless Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. It's like we're not just calling out to a historical figure.
There's something more to it.
Right. And they say, if we take the traditional stories to literally...
Like a divine being whose wife gets kidnapped?
It can seem kind of confusing.
Yeah, what's the message there?
So they pose this question, who is the real Ram?
The one who can bring about that true lasting Ram Raja.
Exactly. And they ask, who is Sita?
And what does her exile really represent?
Deep questions, right? And the transcript offers this perspective.
Okay.
It says that when we say, hey, Ram, in times of trouble...
We might actually be calling out to the formless Paramatma Shiv.
Shiv is described as Kalyankari benevolent.
And Shiv also means the one who resides in everyone's heart.
Which brings us back to that earlier meaning of Ram.
Full circle.
So from this perspective, the real Ram Navmi is about remembering the formless Paramatma Ram.
I see.
And then they put all of this into the context of this huge cycle of time.
Oh, wow. How does that work?
They say that Sri Ram's birth in the Treta Yuga wasn't his first appearance. It was actually his 9th birth.
9th.
Yeah, after 8 perfect births in the Satya Yuga, the Golden Age.
So he's been around a long time.
A very long time. And they say that we're currently at the very end of the Kali Yuga, the Iron Age.
Things are a bit rough right now.
That's one way to put it.
And there's also this special period called the Sangam Yuga.
Right. It's like a meeting point between the two.
The Kali Yuga and the Satya Yuga.
Exactly.
So we're at a turning point.
Yeah, things are about to change.
Okay, so if we're looking at Ram and Sita in this universal way, behavior root main.
Yeah.
What about Ravana and Lanka? How do they fit into this?
Well, they say that all souls are like the Sitas of Paramatma Ram.
Okay.
And right now we're all captive in the Lanka of Ravana.
We're trapped.
In a way, yeah.
And the Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga, those were the true Ram Raja.
Right. And the Dwapar and Kali Yuga, those are the Ravan Raja.
So we've been living in Ravan Raja for a while.
Thousands of years, actually. But here's the important part.
Okay.
Ravana isn't just that literal demon with 10 heads.
It's symbolic?
Exactly. The 10 heads represent the 5 negative traits in men.
Things like lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego.
And the 5 negative traits in women, too.
So 10 in total.
And they say that these qualities are present in every household, every relationship today.
That's why there's so much conflict.
It's all connected.
So Ravana is like the embodiment of our negative tendencies.
When our inner demons, so to speak.
And what about Lanka?
Lanka's also a metaphor of the entire world.
Really?
Yeah, because Lanka means an island surrounded by water.
Right.
And our world is an island surrounded by oceans.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
And they say that in this Lanka, these negative qualities rule.
And no one is really free from them.
Not in this age, anyway.
This is the Gaur Kali Yuga.
The darkest part of the Iron Age.
A far cry from the Sukme Sansar of the Treta Yuga.
That happy world where there was so much unity and peace.
So what can we do? How do we get out of this Ravan Raja?
Well, a transcript says that Paramatma Ram needs to come now.
To transform things.
Exactly, to turn Ravan Raja back into Ram Raja.
And how does that happen?
They say that every soul has the essence of Ram within it.
qualities like peace, love, bliss, mercy, power.
Right, but we've forgotten these qualities.
So we need to remember.
And that's why Paramatma comes
to remind us
of our true nature.
So the sorrow and unrest we feel
It's because we're trapped
in this shock vatika,
the garden of sorrow, Ravan's kingdom.
bound by our negative qualities,
And the soul cries out to Ram to be freed.
to break free from these chains.
It's like the image of Sita in Ashokavatika.
Symbolic of the soul trapped in this world of sorrow.
It's a powerful image.
It is.
And this leads to a deeper question about who we are.
And what the divine really is.
When we say, hey, Ram.
It's not just a habit.
No, it's not about the historical right.
Or even our individual soul ramp.
Because we've forgotten our true selves.
Lost our way.
And Paramatma comes to remind us of our real identity.
Which is
not this physical body.
but something eternal.
Unchanging, imperishable. A conscious energy within.
Beyond birth and death.
Right, because the soul goes through cycles of birth and death.
But it's fundamentally unborn and undying.
And identifying with the body creates this illusion of beginnings and endings.
It's like we're caught in a dream.
And while some believe that the soul itself is Ram Atma Ram,
The transcript says that the true Ram is the Paramatma,
the supreme soul,
and both the soul and the Paramatma are Jyoti.
beings of light,
And their original home is Paramandam.
the supreme abode,
But souls go through this cycle,
birth, death, good deeds, bad deeds.
happiness, sorrow,
The whole roller coaster.
while Paramatma remains untouched.
Above it all,
And they say that we're currently in the Sangam Yuga,
that meeting point between the Kali Yuga and the Satya Yuga,
the transition from Ravan Raja to Ram Raja.
well, at a crossroads.
It's a choice to make.
Do we stay stuck in negativity?
Or do we move towards that higher state of Ram Raja,
And they say that Paramatma Shiva is actively creating the new Satya Yuga
guiding us from that Shakvatika?
to Ashokvan, a place free from sorrow. But there's something that keeps us trapped.
What's that?
It's called Deka Abhiman.
Body consciousness.
That feeling of being just this physical body.
And it makes us forget our true self.
Our connection to Paramatma, our purpose, our real home.
We get lost in the illusion.
And Maya, this illusionary energy, it's got everyone covered in Kali Yuga.
It's like a veil over our eyes.
And then they talk about this Atmic bomb,
A spiritual bond.
a force unleashed by Paramatma to transform souls,
Wow.
leading to the transformation of the whole creation.
So it's a massive shift.
It is, and they outline the divine roles involved in this.
Who does what?
Paramatma Ram is the one who ultimately defeats Ravana
The negativity.
and establishes the new Satya Yuga.
Okay.
And to do this, Paramatma Ram creates Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar.
The Trinity.
And each of them has a specific role in this transformation.
What are they?
Brahma is for the new creation, Vishnu for sustaining it, and Shankar for destroying the old impure world.
The destroyer.
And the image of Shankar in tapasya, deep meditation. Independence, freedom from attachments, mojit.
He's unfazed by it all.
But, there's a reason why we get so caught up in these negative qualities.
Why is that?
It's partly because we believe the world can't function without them,
We've come to rely on them.
and partly because we just give in to Maya.
But Paramatma has been working on this transformation for a while.
For 86 years, actually.
Really?
Yeah, leading to the growth of their organization.
Which they compare to a banyan tree.
Spreading its roots.
Powerful image.
And the most important teaching of Paramatma, to recognize ourselves as souls, first and foremost,
Okay.
and then to worship the formless Paramatma.
Not just focusing on physical forms.
Exactly.
So it's about going deeper.
And the goal of all this is to return to that original state.
Of purity and peace.
Paramatma is the father of all souls.
Who's come to guide us back to Ram Raja.
And they say that developing love and unity among souls
Is essential for a smooth return.
back to Paramatma's abode.
And when we say Jai Sri Ram,
Our understanding should be directed towards the formless Ram.
the deeper meaning,
So if someone wants to become more like Sri Ram,
what should they do?
they say the path starts with recognizing Paramatma Shiv,
As the father, teacher, Satguru,
the true guide,
and following his teachings, Shrumat.
is crucial for purifying and spiritualizing life.
It's about inner transformation.
And then there's this Mahayagya, this great sacrifice.
That Shiv Paramatma started 86 years ago.
And it calls for offering the jiao, the body, the till, the mind, and the ghee, the wealth.
Symbolic offerings.
Yeah, representing our dedication, our resources.
Then what happens when we make that connection with Paramatma Ram?
They say our past karmas will be saruha,
And the soul will become Pavitra pure.
And while we can't become the Paramatma ourselves,
Right.
we can cultivate the virtues of Sri Ram,
Like being a Maryada Purusha
an upholder of righteousness.
and following Ahimsa Paramo Dharma.
Nonviolence is the highest principle.
And by embodying these qualities,
We can earn a place in the Trita Yuga Sri Ram's world,
and even progress to the Satya Yuga.
the world of Sri Krishna.
Wow.
So to sum it all up,
What's the core message of Ram Navmi from this Behad Roop Mind viewpoint?
it's a reminder to remember Paramatma Ram.
The universal father, the supreme teacher, the ultimate Satguru.
And they say that this one formless being, sometimes called Sadashiv or Satyam Shivam Sundaram,
Right.
he's actually remembered by everyone.
Regardless of religion.
So the real purpose of Ram Navmi is to recognize him
Connect with him, surrender to his guidance.
and receive the strength to transform the world into Ram Raja.
But that transformation doesn't happen automatically.
No, it requires effort.
What kind of effort?
We have to actively remember Ram, follow his directions, and purify our lives.
It's an ongoing process.
And in this true Ram Raja,
There will be unity,
one Dharma,
one understanding like one language,
and a common vision,
leading to focused peace, happiness, love.
and all those amazing qualities and powers within us.
It's inspiring.
It is.
This deep dive into the Om Shanti channel's perspective on Ram Navmi.
It really gives us a lot to think about.
It does.
It goes so much deeper than the usual understanding.
Beyond the stories and the rituals.
And it connects this historical celebration to something much bigger,
Our spiritual journey.
and our role in it.
So, as you reflect on all of this, we'll leave you with this thought.
What if the real meaning of Ram Navmi is less about looking back at history,
And more about a present-day transformation.
within ourselves and in the world around us?
Which understanding of Ram resonates with you most right now?
And how can you bring the principles of Ram Raja, unity, righteousness, inner purity,
Into your own life.
no matter your background or beliefs?
This deep dive is just a starting point.
And we encourage you to keep exploring.
These amazing concepts of the soul, the Atma, the Supreme Soul, the Paramatma, and the cyclical nature of time.
Ram Navmi is so much more than just a celebration,
It's a profound message about our potential.
and the possibility of creating a more harmonious world
For everyone.
for all of us.